Sun is coming up. I had that dream again last night. Woke up to the wet grass and the cold. Sun hadn't made its way over the horizon yet, and didn't for a long time. But I couldn't find myself going to sleep again. Yesterday was another long day of walking, sun up to sundown. Some days you just keep moving forward with such a habit you forget why you're even moving. Sometimes it feels like that. It was yesterday, as the sun was setting, that I came across this tree. This mighty, big thing, no leaves on it. The bare branches up top looking like many hands reaching up into the sky. The tree didn't look so much dead as it did worn, like it had seen things. I had trouble settling down to sleep that night. I kept thinking of Marcus, that poor bastard bleeding from his stomach. I didn't know why he came to mind. That was about 6 years ago. It's funny, the little things that can make us remember. Little hands that pull at just the right string. Makes the mind start to unravel. I don't know when I finally got to sleep. It was sometime long after nightfall. In the beginning, I was a little more careful with how I slept. Always kept a pistol laid over my chest. I don't do that anymore. As the walking took its toll, I found you sleep better knowing that you might not have to wake up. At least then, you know it wasn't up to you. You were just dealt a bad hand. She visited me again that night. I watched myself standing before the house, hand upon the railing leading up to the covered porch. Like always, she sat on her chair, looking out east over the field. She had this expression on her face. It wasn't angry or sad. She never said anything, just kept looking. 4 steps were all that was between us. It always ends with the sound of shots firing way off over in the field. I remember the first time I saw something die. Back when I was a boy, my father used to set out traps for catching raccoons. There was this one morning when I was 8 or 9, I woke up to the sound of something whining outside. A raccoon had gotten stuck in one of them traps. Its leg was stuck and it was squirming real hard, trying to get out. It wasn't too long before my daddy came around the corner carrying a shotgun. He told me to go inside. Instead, I went around and hid in the back near the work shed. I didn't know it then, but my old man was trying to protect me from something. The raccoon was hissing and swinging out in vain as Daddy aimed a gun and fired it. Mama thought I was coming down sick with something when I came back to the house. She didn't make me go to school that day. I never told her or Daddy what I'd seen. I wouldn't consider myself a particularly religious man, but I'd like to think I did right by carrying Marcus up from that field. He said that some men had shot at him from the tree line, and I saw his shirt was pooling with blood. He kept telling me to run back up to the house and lock up with Nora. I couldn't get myself to just leave him out there. Something tells me that what I feared, even worse than him dying, was running into something at the house. I never carried a gun in those days. Never thought I'd have to. Mom always said when I was growing up that we lived in a good place. I suppose maybe that's just how it was in those times. Nothing ever happened to them two until my daddy finally laid down to rest. Died in his sleep. Peaceful. Before we had even gotten to the barn, I knew Marcus was going to die. Not for any particular reason. Just had that feeling. By some divine grace, they never checked the barn. By the time they were done with the house, I guess they had already found what they were looking for. When I laid Marcus down, he was dead. There weren't any last words. He just lied there, still. Didn't even put up a fight. Not that there was much he could have done. Nora neither. Her chair was knocked over on the covered porch. She was dead in the doorway. I used to tell myself that the world wasn't like that in my mama and daddy's time. Now I'm not so sure. I think there just comes a time where us unlucky few have to accept the facts of the world we're living in. My daddy only used a shotgun once. He wasn't one of the unlucky ones. Each day I walk, I think that maybe today will be it. Maybe I'll get to stop walking. When I made that choice not to come back to the house, I made the same choice that day as I did when I was a boy. All those little hands reaching toward the sky, trying to get out.